So let's take a look at this. Now, we're going to be talking about the lead auditor, and the sites training all in one go. So let's take a look. We've got 5 days in total for the lead auditor course. But if you're wanting to attend the sites training, okay, then it's just the first 2 days. And the first 2 days cover, you'll notice, the requirement sections 1 through to 9. Now, when I talk about the requirements, I'm talking about the BRC Food Issue 8 Food Safety Standard, and I'm talking about the actual clauses, the bits that we're all first and foremost interested in, okay, the clauses that we have to comply to. So all the way from senior management commitment through to traded goods, or traded products. So everything you could possibly want to know about the clauses covered in days 1 and 2 for sites. If, however, you're an auditor, and this means that you already have a lead auditor qualification, in that case, you're not going to want to attend a full 5 days. You don't need to. You've already got a lead auditor qualification. But you are an auditor, you want to maintain your auditor status, you want to be able to audit against the standard, then the 3-day course is ideal for you. And you'll notice here that on the 3rd day, we're covering extra bits, okay? So this is the audit protocol, everything else that's in the standard, you know, talking about how the scheme is managed, auditor requirements, things like that. And just to mention, at the end of this day 3, the auditors will complete their exam, whereas for sites, they complete their exam at the end of day 2. All right. For lead auditors, it's the full 5 days, and the exam is completed at the end of day 5. In fact, the exam is started directly after lunch. You'll see later on, I mentioned that we get 3 days to you get 3 attempts to complete the exam successfully. And so if you think about it, you might want the full afternoon, okay? And that's why we start after lunch with the exam.
Cathy, have you mentioned that it's open book yet?
Oh, thanks, Steph. Yes, it is open book. Yes. Absolutely. And yeah, I can't think of anyone who doesn't refer to the standard unless you know it inside out. Yeah, during that exam, you're certainly going to want to refer to the standard to help you answer those questions. But you can also refer to the course notes. So thanks for that, Steph.
Mm-hmm.
And just for the lead auditors, just so you know what you're covering on days 4 and 5, it's how to audit, okay? It's all best practice for how to audit. It's auditor skills. You'll notice here we've got auditor skills, various sessions on skills. And then in between, we've got auditing exercises. So to practice, literally practice auditing. And some of the hottest topics to audit is going to be HACCP, cleaning, and allergen controls. Yeah, so we've got some good practice in there. On day 5, again, some more audit skills, more about what you're expected to do as a lead auditor, okay, when you do the actual on-site audit. And then you might be thinking, who are these courses for? Well, obviously the sites training is for people working for BRC certified sites. However, that's not the only scenario for people who want to attend sites training. You might be fairly new to the standard. You might be wanting to go and work for a BRC certified site. You might be a consultant. So there are lots of reasons why people might attend the sites training. And the same is true for the auditor training. You don't necessarily have to be an auditor to attend the auditor training. Again, consultants sometimes like to attend this course here. Exactly the same for lead auditor training. A lot of people working for BRC certified sites attend the full 5 days. Perhaps they are internal auditors, perhaps they also want to audit their suppliers, and so they want a lead auditor qualification regardless. So they want to attend the whole lot. What I can say is that if you want to become a formal third-party auditor to the BRC standard, where you're actually working for a certification body, okay, and so you are going to sites and you're carrying out those certification audits formally, then absolutely your first step to becoming an auditor for a certification body is to get the full lead auditor qualification. But as I say, not everybody wants to go ahead and become a third-party auditor. They just want the qualifications so that they know as much as they could possibly need to know to support their careers. Good. So what I've done now is I've taken just a few slides just to show you, and these are random slides from the various 5 days, just to show you what they look like, really. And so I'm not necessarily going to talk through them in great detail like I would during the course, but it's just to give you a taste for some of the course content. Okay. Here we touch on the food safety culture plan. We know this was new for issue 8, and so a lot of people were concerned about this. But we're well into issue 8 of the standard now, so people tend to be more confident what they're doing. Nevertheless, we talk through this in detail, what exactly is expected from sites to demonstrate compliance with this clause. And we talk through the course also from the point of view of you being a third-party auditor. So as an auditor, what do you need to look for? What objective evidence do you need to get to fully, to write up your report to show that the site is complying? So it's from both points of view. As a site, what do you have to do? As an auditor, what are you looking for? Yeah. And there are specific things that we are looking for to demonstrate compliance, okay? In particular, these 4 things. Yeah, the site has done an assessment. What are they good at? What could they do better? They need a plan, and they have to have implemented that plan and reviewed its effectiveness. So it is a continuous improvement cycle. Okay, another section just taken here from the course is a section on specifications. And a really important section, of course, and we detail here and talk through all the specifications that a site is expected to have in place. Okay, so it's all specifications for raw materials and primary packaging, and we look at the new definition for primary packaging in the course. Finished product specs. When we need to get formal agreement of customer branded product, that changed in issue 8. Previously, people were trying to get agreement on all specs. You don't need to do that anymore. It's specifically for customer branded specs. Okay, review of specs and control and approval detailed in a procedure. Let's jump forward now to section 5.4, another really hot topic. Vulnerability assessment for food fraud. This is a huge subject, and this is just one of the slides that prompts us to talk about what your vulnerability assessment is expected to look like, yeah, or what it's expected to cover. Yeah, certainly all raw materials, and of course the potential for adulteration or substitution. Okay, that one always generates a lot of good discussion.
Something that from attending your courses, Cathy, that I've noticed is the fact that you can use and put people into groups to generate discussion and then feedback. And I think that's a really good part of doing the Zoom course. You don't miss out on that collaboration working with others.
Oh, thanks, Steph. That's a really good point. I'm glad you mentioned it. Yeah, we use the breakout rooms. Yeah. And so you're absolutely right. You can still go into a room with a smaller number of people, have those discussions. What people tend to do in their smaller groups is they'll pick somebody, or somebody will volunteer to share their screen. And so if it's an exercise where you all want to look at the same document or assess something in a document, then one person can be sharing that screen. You're all working off the same page, literally. Or if it's something where you need to generate notes from the exercise, again, somebody can share their screen and type up as you go while you're all collaborating. Again, you can still see each other in your smaller groups. And then when you're ready, you just exit the breakout room and you're back in the main room with everyone else. Thank you for that, Steph. Okay, yeah, so scheduling re-audit dates. This is an interesting one, and this is, we don't trouble sites with this particular information. This comes on later on in the course. And this is for auditors to understand the audit cycle. Okay, so we spend a fair bit of time on this slide always and debate the various points. But just understanding the audit cycle is good. Although its certification bodies who have to particularly pay attention to this to make sure that the auditor is, putting the audit in their calendar. Nevertheless, it is site's responsibilities to make sure that they have their audit within the cycle. So sites are also interested. And then this is auditor skills. So certainly for auditors and lead auditors, we discuss, and this is just one of those. There are several slides, obviously, on auditor skills, but we talk in detail about being able to collect objective evidence and conduct a fair and thorough audit. It's really essential, I think, to the reputation of BRC as being a good, solid, fair audit. And so we don't take this lightly in this training. This really is about equipping a person, if they wanted to become a third-party auditor, it is about equipping you thoroughly to be able to do this and to do it well. Yeah. And through observation and inquiry. Okay, so a little bit about the exams, because I'm sure you're curious. The lead auditor exam, there are 50 questions, 75% pass mark, which is quite high. Okay, it is quite high. And you get 75 minutes to complete it, unless English is not your first language. So there are exams in multiple other languages available for the lead auditor course. And so if you complete that in your own language, okay, then you still get 75 minutes. However, if your language is not available or you prefer to complete it in English and English is not your first language, then you get extended time, okay, 100 minutes, so 2 minutes per question. It's exactly the same for the auditor exam, okay, exactly the same. For sites, it's easier. It's 25 questions, 60% pass mark, and you get 40 minutes or 55 if English is not your first language. You are allowed 3 attempts. Okay, as I said, that's why we tend to start the exam. Certainly for the lead auditor, we start it just after lunch. For the site exam, it's more towards the end of the day. For the auditor exam, it's also more towards the end of the day. However, if you needed another attempt, a second or a third attempt for some reason, then that's just something we need to schedule. Yeah, it's not a problem. The exam and the course can be attended. You can attend the course on any device. You could attend it on your phone, on an iPad. I think, Steph, you're on an iPad today, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm on a laptop. You can be on a PC. So you can attend the course on any device, and you can also complete the exam on any device as long as you've got an internet link.
If it's any help to anybody, I tend to use the iPad for the Zoom, and I have my laptop beside me, and then if I want to make notes, I find it easier that way around, and I can access the slides separately. So I usually have both on the go. Yeah. Just find Zoom's functionality easier on the iPad. I'm just lazy.
Thanks, Steph. Actually, that's a really good point. Yeah, quite often, if people aren't already set up with 2 devices, by the end of the first day, they've realized the benefit, and they find an extra device to use. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that.